if I could make a suggestion, and you don't have to take offense to it, you can say, no, it's a great idea. Maybe your group needs to change its name to the broader Constantia Kloof and surrounds, incorporating Kloof and Vale, whatever it
Well,
may
the thing
be.
is that Constantia Kloof and surrounds is not only incorporating Constantia Kloof, but all of the surrounds, right the way down to Pollarina, all the way through to Witpootjie at the moment. I've started bringing them all in. I've got, and here's another thing, because it's too far out. And I'll tell you another thing. No. I'm going to give you another one. It's called Region C. The Region C Advisory Forum has got very specific boundaries and borders to it. Okay? In terms of the Region C boundaries and borders, Ward 89 is not the only ward that is in Region C. Then in addition to that, in terms of the Disaster Management Act, and in particular the CIJ's Disaster Management Framework, the recommendation and suggestion is that all disaster management activities are ward-based. And that's why I need the relationship with the councillors in the area. I have built up a reasonably good, through this water relief crisis, where they've come onto the group, they put the info out, they've even sent me the info at 1 o'clock in the morning, Chad, post us tomorrow. Leah's done it. We've got a caucus meeting, we've got this meeting, whatever. Put this out, this is the latest info. Cool, no problems, no shit. Councillor Finn, that guy, 3 o'clock in the morning, I sent him a message. I say, hey, Caleb, why are you still awake? He's working the EMS group. Bristow Street, nowhere to be found. That CKRF group where all that defamation of character took place, half of them are not even your CKRF members, by the way. The other half who are, you probably got 10 of them on the Constantia Kloof and Surrounds group.
Yeah.
None of them, or virtually, I think 8, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them on the Bristow Street group are now on the anti-crime group. This guy with the so-called inspectors should have put it out on that group. Even if it was a voice note, we could have had every single one of the security companies go out there. I've told them all, the whole lot of them. I told Adam Buerta, I told Querbus, you guys need to go and work in Boksburg to learn to be security companies because you're fucking around in this area. I told them straight. They laugh. They say why? And I give them the examples. Oh, shit. Then I call a meeting with one and another pictures. They both arrive at my door at the same time, and I look at them. I said, right, we are having a security-related meeting in terms of disaster management and risk reduction. There's no bullshit here between the two companies. You guys got that? Yes. There sits one, here sits the other. For the next 3 hours, it looked like we were drinking buddies, the way the conversation was going. I don't have that with you know who. Well, and that's a sad part, and it's got a reflection. So moving forward, you need to let the members know now. Get an extraordinary meeting going within 10 days minimum. Put this thing to bed once and for all. Let them elect a new committee, even if it is an interim committee. Let them draft a new constitution completely. That's the first thing. Once they've drafted that constitution, they need to, as the new committee, make submission, even if they stand as fiduciary members. Let them apply now, register with SARS and apply now for partial tax exemption so that those relevant clauses are in actual fact incorporated within your constitution. If you don't do that now, while you've got the opportunity, what will happen is SARS will tell you, okay, you are now registered for VAT purposes. You'll have 12 months to actually submit a revised constitution. So why wait 12 years, 12 months? Why wait another 12 months within which to do it? You got the opportunity now. Save face now. Get a committee together now. Because I can tell you that, you know, if I have to make this again public and speak to, as a result of your own members asking me questions, and I have to give this to them, your next billing cycle is going to be less than 10%. The guys are just not going to come up. And that's not what I want at all. Okay. I want to see CKRFs grow, and as I've said on the security groups, I'll round it up for you now. Like I've said to them with regards to the security service providers, I'm not going to recommend anybody, which is what Kleinhans took exception to, because I need to remain neutral. I've said to the security guys when I've met with them, if you want new business out of the area, you need to be seen to be doing something. And understanding that they don't need to patrol. They don't have to. But on the anti-crime group, it doesn't make a difference who, what, where, when. This scenario here, we had a break-in Antoinette Street now in the last 3 weeks. Armed robbery. The suspect vehicle drove out of Antoinette Street sub Rosa again. I don't know why then. They drove in. The mother got their attention. He turned around, he chased the vehicle, and when he got to his boundary at Ondekkers and Abbott, let the vehicle go. We knew nothing of it. No bolo on the vehicle, nothing. Had it gone out on a bolo, you as a CKRF have admitted, look, Vuma cam is expensive. Okay, you need to, we got 1,600 residential households in Constantia Kloof. Top end of the ridge, you're looking at a good 1,000 residents. You need to have at least 800 members on board in order to afford a couple of the Vuma cam.
In the area as defined.
In the defined area, yeah, absolutely. I'm just giving a rough estimate.
Just helping you with the number.
Okay, how many did you say?
800.
And I said about 800. There's 1,600 in total in Constantia Kloof.
In our boundaries
as 800. Okay, you see now when I look at those demographics, now you may be giving me a direction to look at as well. When you look at Constantia Kloof Drive, every complex unit is considered one residential property, not a complex. So like Mont Blanc, I lived in Mont Blanc for 3.5 years. I think there's 56 or 86 units in it. That's 86.
Drive is another problem.
Absolutely.
This side is Constantia Kloof.
And the other side's Kloofendal.
No, CKN.
Oh, CKN, yes. Okay. You know, and then, but then the bottom end at Jim Fisher, you've got Constantia on the one side, Weltevreden on the other side, and Kloofendal up at the top end. I mean, it's a total ball ache. Hence, I'm looking at from this NGO perspective, breaking things down into zones, so that I deal with, especially from the radio communication perspective, I look at a zone. And my zone is going to be based on my radio capabilities. It's a community emergency radio network. In other words, it has to be built by the community. Again, what can the CKRF do? The CKRF, not because it's NCOM PDY Limited, but you guys can actually maybe look at, okay, this guy needs to be a control station. As part and parcel, again, thought for members. Contribute towards his equipment or whatever the case might be, so that there are communication capabilities. From my side, on that, I look at the comms, not only from the residents, but to all the other services, where I currently have ECSA on board, Help 24 EMS is on board, ComMed I'm going to be bringing up on board as well. John Baisley's got a radio, John Rosenberg's got a radio, Dowdy's got 2 radios, Beagle's got a radio, Help 24 Secure's got a radio. Who've I missed on the voluntary side? The other thing, no, EC came in too late. All the ADT also came in too late on the project. Yeah. It took me 3 months to get hold of ADT, and as a result of it, they've now put a vehicle in the area. Okay, yeah. So when you start looking at this, you get your committee formed as quickly as possible, even if it is an interim one. You guys can run an interim committee until, you know, even if you set a new AGM date, July, June, whatever, a little bit earlier, it's entirely up to the members. Get your registration in play now with SARS.
With your constitutional and legal and whatnot for background, would it be in order for us, for Gary, to say, listen, the other 57 people that have paid so far, there's an email or a SMS or a WhatsApp or whatever it is, there's a poll. These members are available for the committee. You agree with it or don't agree? Yes or no?
Well, the normal way of running the association Yeah, no, the correct way of doing it in common law practice would be, as I say, for you to send out a letter stating, we have a problem. You've got to be open and honest with it. You can, in actual fact, stipulate that we can have a discussion if you want it, but it's a legal problem. We are no longer legally representing you. The banking account is another issue altogether because of the fact that you are not elected members. So any activity on the banking account, members can take it to heart and it can become a criminal case. And that is where I needed, once I learned that there was a problem here, I needed again to chat to you and tell you that this is something you need to be aware of. Quickest route, you get a letter out there, you call an extraordinary meeting, we have to appoint a new committee, even if it is on a temporary basis. The purpose of the meeting is, one, to determine whether it is a permanent committee for another year, but you still need to have an AGM, which means that you're going to have an extraordinary meeting now, and then an AGM, and the AGM is going to serve no purpose. So as part of your document, you can say that we forego the AGM at the moment due to these extraordinary circumstances, whilst we, in actual fact, decide whether we are going to rewrite the Constitution. We're going to have the interim committee, and from that point, you leave it up to the new committee, whoever it is. They then run with it.
Does it have to, my question is still, does it need to be an EAG
It's got to be in
physical, or can it be an EAG by round robin?
No. You see, that now is another problem. Your Constitution, as far as I remember, does not stipulate whether the AGM is held in person. You need to check that. If your Constitution, and this is where a lot of associations got caught with their pants down during the COVID-19 outbreak and lockdown, because many people could not hold AGMs, because the Constitution stipulated that the AGM shall be held in person. Okay, now they couldn't do it, which means that they were out of sync. But common law and the Companies Act allows you to go back and correct and rectify a problem of that nature, as long as a motion is tabled and a resolution is taken by the, whatever, 75%, I think it is in your case, of acceptance to the resolution. In this case, look at your Constitution. But I'll be quite honest with you. Even if I was a paid-up member and you came to us with this problem, I would in actual fact be the one to table the following motion. Guys, we're going to do a poll. You can do a poll via WhatsApp even, that's fine, and ask, should we have a virtual meeting or should we have a physical meeting? You can't necessarily do this type of thing on a WhatsApp poll because you cannot do a quantitative survey. It's not like what we used to know as the old posting voting, you know, when we were members of whatever rugby club and there was something that had to be done and your nominations had to be posted. There's none of that anymore. You could submit something as a proxy via email, but at the AGM, depending on what the Constitution said, you had to have a hard copy because the secretary, by law, has to have a record of every single proxy that is held, and of course the record of the meeting, the minutes of the meeting have to reflect the correct result. Again, how is your voting done? Is it by submission of a physical vote or show of hands? Okay, so then the minutes there again. So if it is now show of hands, you've got a bit of a problem when it comes to a poll. But a virtual meeting, you can in actual fact keep it. And then of course, in terms of the Electronic Communication Transmission Act, you can keep the recording as evidence for your result. And that's the nice thing about now that Zoom has come out, even if it means you run it, you don't need to buy it. It doesn't cost you anything and it works fine. You can hear there's a little bit of an echo in the background because I've got the other one up, my main one, which I hope was recording. Otherwise, it's just running. But anyway, I think it is. You've got the recording, your minutes are there, you make it available to your paid up members. They're always welcome to, you know, watch it, even if your secretary keeps it, like you have to keep the financial records. By the way, I've also got a financial background. which I think you would have picked up on being with the IDC, the Industrial Development Corporation. So you've got to keep your records. The secretary has to keep hers. Your quickest fix today, you write a letter, you tell the people there's a problem that needs to be fixed. Don't hide it. You might not necessarily have to go into detail, but if somebody asks, you need to explain it to them. Don't sign your letter as the chairman, because legally you're not. Don't refer to yourself as a treasurer. Who's your vice chair?
We don't have, because of the numbers that we got.
Okay. Don't use the phrases, because that there is inappropriate. Tell them you've got to re-elect the committee. And you're going to put a poll out on the WhatsApp group, your CKRF group. You then have to ensure it's CKRF members only. Yeah. Okay. Any other non-members, you're going to have to turf them off. Seriously, you've got to turf them off, because this is CKRF business. Paid up member, I'd object, because my personal information today is now being made available to non-CKRF members if I was a paid up member. As a CKRF, you have to comply with the Poppy Act, and you have to protect the personal information of your membership, which is why I also took offense to the allegations made on all of the Bristow and the CKRF group about me personally, because your administrators are legally liable for the activity of those groups. So as a CKRF, because it is a legal persona, you have to protect the personal information of your membership base. A CKRF group is something I don't get involved with in any level unless I'm a CKRF member. And the reason for that is quite simply, it's your business, it's not mine. It's got nothing to do with me at all. You can be part of any of the other groups, the Constantia Kloof and Surrounds, Councillor Leonard's escalation group going back to Bristow Street yesterday. While those guys were there, should have been put out on the anti-crime group so that they could have been tracked, traced, or whatever. Their vehicle might have come up on an LPR. If it had not come up on an LPR, whoever was there at the time could have provided that information, and Beagle and Dowdy could have loaded it. Now you're telling me, and I'm saying you because of the fact it's us that are here, you've got the community at heart, you've got the security at heart, you've got this at heart, you've got that at heart, but screw Beagle and Dowdy. And then I question that statement of yours. I have to. You have to make use of what resources Dowdy, Help 24's got the tracking unit. You need to make use of the LPR system that Beagle has got access to. Querbus, even on the job, every now and again, he'll throw information through. We had a case now that there was a hijacking taking place at Hillfox. And I got a private message that says it's not a hijacking. Fill you in when we stand out. And I quietly turned the group off. I told them we were all going to the job, and then nothing happened on the job. And the group settled down. That's it. Let them deal with the shit. The point of the anti-crime group is if you see cut like your guys there now, they see these two chappies, they put it out on the group and then they disappeared. But then now they're suddenly at your gate, or they're walking past your gate. Like these Uber drivers. Hey, I've got a suspicious vehicle standing here X amount of time. I told you I'd come back to this. So I put the question out afterwards. You say it's an Uber driver. Can you prove it? I asked Claude that from Sub Rosa. He said, no, what are you talking about? I said, how do you know that this is an Uber driver? No, he told me so. So you're just going to take his word for it. Well, what else can I do? I said, why don't you look for his professional driving permit and his public operating license? He's got to display that by law on his vehicle. Oh, shit. I said, yeah, oh, shit, Claude. One of the residents pulls in the driveway as she gets to the gate. We sit down. As we sit down, I look up at the camera. He has his vehicle come park across the road from me. So I phoned Sub Rosa. I said, guys, I've just had somebody pull in. This is now suspicious. Come and check this vehicle out, parked across the road. Next thing there on the group, now they've broken down. No. Phone the control room. I said, listen, I'm not happy with this. What do you mean they've broken down? No, according to the response officer, they've broken down. I said, no, please ask him to double check it. No, I'm not going to do that. I said, no, you are going to do that because I don't accept this. So Philip, I think it was Philip arrives here. Very arrogant now because he's been called back. So I called him in. I said, how do you know this vehicle's broken down? You telling me that his universal joints are screwed. That's what he told you, right? Yeah. I said, but the control room has spoken about some other damage to the vehicle. So which story is it? So we go outside. We're standing outside. Sharon decided to leave. So I'm parking outside with the guys. Fabian and the other chap who also arrived, who's all having a chat. The guy from the broken down vehicle walks across the road there and says, oh no, his wife is across the road here begging for money. But he's just told the response officers he's broken down. Sharon leaves, Sub Rosa leaves, he gets in his vehicle, he starts it up, he drives off. The guys yesterday, you could have known, you could have seen them walking past your place, you could have put it out on the group, you could have nailed them. We could have at least gotten photographs of them. Beagle in particular, Beagle don't take shit. Beagle were coming to a meeting, I'm checking at the gate, I wonder why they're not pulling in, my gate closes, I open the gate, they still parked there. I go outside and say, what are you guys doing? Now we're busy taking photographs of the woman on the pavement.
There is some differences of opinion, yeah. Like I said,
There always will be.
The business, when we started the forum, call it what you want to, and we said, right, we need a security company. We put word out, ADT, all of them, Beagle, the whole lot. They all came there and they gave us presentations, right? This is what they would do, this is what they can do. Right. One of the questions was, if they saw a suspicious thing happening at an ADT house, would Beagle respond to that? No.
No.
Right.
They're under no obligation to.
They're under no obligation to.
But when was this meeting?
20 years ago.
Ha.
Yeah.
And can I tell you how things have changed? Seriously, you're right.
Yeah, but then the only person that said, right, they will
Was Sub Rosa. No problem.
Yeah.
Acceptable, Gary. Absolutely acceptable. But things have now changed.
Yes.
So much so. You know, if I have to tell you just the report from last night, a young girl, 16-year-old girl, second time in the last 4 days has run away from home. We don't know if there's child abuse or what is happening there, okay? But there is a problem. One call out and 5 security companies respond. That's now the East End. Now what's happening I'm actually having a problem on the anti-crime group. And I'm trying to tell them on the job, guys, if Mervyn phones and says he's got a suspicious vehicle at his place, Dowry noted, Beagle noted, ADT noted, Sub Rosa en route, EC noted, Help 24 noted. Okay.
Well, you just got to look at the Florida group and see how many
they run
the word
yeah.
out there and how many.
But now they all run off to Mervyn's house, and I'm trying to say to them, don't. Mervyn, if you are a Sub Rosa client, just say I'm a Sub Rosa client. Sub Rosa, you go to Mervyn's place. The rest of you guys pick a point around the area. Because why? The group has picked it up, hey? Every suspicious vehicle lost.
Just to go back to what Gary was saying, the one meeting that we had Beagle Watch did the presentation. That was when Dave was still the CEO. Came and we actually sat opposite me. He gave this presentation about how wonderful they are. They got this fantastic tracking system. They know where their vehicles are 24/7. So I said to him,
I'm going to shock the shit out of you now.
That's fantastic. That's absolutely great. Can you tell me perhaps could you phone your control, got information, and tell me where they were at a certain time on a certain day? So he was Jack, I think was his name, the black guy, right-hand man. And then I did something, but he came back and he said, you can't do it now. So I said, would they be patrolling? He said, yes. And it was that big vehicle with the ticker tape at the back, the Christmas lights, plus all their vehicles with the Christmas lights. You know where they were? The park behind Constantia Kloof Primary School and the nursery school. I was there. I was at the Oaks window like this, taking photos of it. Fast asleep.
Dude,
So I said to the guy, look, this is what's happening. Where's your fantastic systems? He said, give me the photos. I need to sort this out. I said, I'm not giving you the photos. The next minute, there's Oaks get fired and they're all at my gate trying to.
look, a guy sleeping on duty is not an acceptable thing, and I say that as a director. Oh, that's fine, even if it is fine. Doesn't make a difference.
I mean, those were the things that we had.
Also,
so now I asked Dave, I said, look, let's forget about the vehicles. I've alerted you to it, so now you can monitor it better. I don't like, and I know Jacques very well because I worked with him in corporate since about 1990, when he was doing guarding at businesses that I was involved with, bakeries and carrot beef. I don't want one security company in the area. I don't want 5 either. For me personally, the one to have is to have 2. But roughly kind of like, I don't care, 300 and 500, 400 and 400. But something like that the 2 are actually competitive against each other, that people have a competitive choice.
Competition Act won't allow it, number 1, and number 2, it becomes a monopoly.
I'm not saying that we enforce it.
Number 3,
I'm saying freedom of choice. You've got a choice, he's got a choice.
No, but you've got to give them a choice, broader choice. Number 3 is the other area I was going to go to, and I spoke about it, about resources. A company that, like Beagle, for example, Beagle are covering a much larger area, generally, than other security companies, which means that they can invest a little bit more, like into an LPR network, or the monitoring thereof. Here's what I want to make a statement about with regards to Sub Rosa. I did it on Saturday, Sunday again. Late post of a breaking here in Christian de Wet. But like 8 hours later, what point does it serve? It's a marketing strategy, nothing else. It's not protecting the security of the area. You guys as a CKRF, your biggest group, or the biggest group that your members have got access to, is the anti-crime group, with over 500 members at the moment. That's an ideal platform that can also grow the CKRF, especially if you've got a proper representation on the Constantia Kloof and Surrounds group, where the discussions are supposed to take place. That when people ask questions, you've got committee members that can answer. Not having somebody come in there, yeah, Chad, this, that, attack me, blame me, and all the rest of it, and then all the Sub-Rosa clients are giving big hearts and thumbs up and all the rest of it. The people are gut full of Sub-Rosas. I'm telling you now. They gut full. Your boss on that CKRF group, Gabriel, Heather, those people are thrown off of the Constantia Kloof group for causing cuck on the Constantia Kloof group. Now they're doing it on the CKRF group. Who's Hector? Is he one of the CKRF members?
Yes.
Okay, another one. Attack me for what? I really do believe the CKRF, in actual fact, needs to apologize to the community for subjecting me to this shit. And I'm not joking about it. Why? Because I want the CKRF. Look, you call a meeting now. You know, like everybody else knows. You never know if you're going to get selected to a committee, each year after year. Most times people stick to it, but at some point people might decide no. Other times people are going to say, well, look, I don't want to stand again, that type of thing. There is no guarantee. So,
there is a guarantee.
Well, in some cases,
go back to school, governing bodies, sports clubs, and all
of dude, it's
the committee just carries on and on and on.
No, I've watched that, but normally nowadays, if you're on a committee for 5 years, you've been on for too long, and constitutions should, in actual fact, give a 3-year break at some point. That's why. You know, what did you say? We did this. Fantastic. I haven't got a problem with that. It worked then. But I'm telling you, it's not working today. Why? Nobody's coming with any other fresh ideas. Why? Because they're expecting you to. Why? Because you're there. Why? Well, you said you were available. So,
Why?
yeah,
Let me
why?
tell you.
Exactly.
First meeting
Because
we
nobody
had-
else wants to do it.
No, first meeting we had, massive crowd, 200 people. Last meeting that we had, I told you just now, 30 people, of which
Yeah,
15, 20
But that's fine.
were what's the name? There's no crowd, so it's not our problem.
No, but that's fine. That is exactly how people are.
No.
I put out poll after poll. You said, Joe, what happens if we do this on the group? I'll tell you, I've already done it. I've already put it on the group. Guys, what are you bitching about? The security companies are under no obligation to patrol the streets at night. This is in squad cars. And then everybody comes back, you're giving away your age. And I say, shut up, man, leave me alone type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very outspoken on the group, and I don't tolerate the cuck of the people on the group, but I want to educate them. And then when we come down to things like, how do we deal with this? You guys need a representation as the CKRF. Margie tried, but I can tell you what, she's new to it. She also felt that, well, you know, maybe this isn't the platform for discussion, but it's a public platform. It's exactly the platform for discussion. If you want to grow the CKRF, that's the group you do it on. Not because I'm an administrator on this group. I've just tried to channel the group into a newsworthy group, if I can put it to you that way, a group that is beneficial to the community. Now, during the 17.5-hour power outage, same story. The Bristow Street group are having hissy fits because of the electricity. And there's all these assumptions and bullshit that's being posted there. No, that's not wrong. I mean, not right. One idiot is now educating or miseducating 55 other idiots. So Chad now decided enough is enough. Here's the fact. Now I'm bullying you. No, I'm sorry. That needs to be withdrawn. I'm not bullying you. I'm educating you. I'm showing you the error of your way. Yeah, but there's this and this and this about disaster, and it's guesswork and everything else after the Bree Street explosion. You must see, I don't know if it is the operation that they held here now, or as it's being claimed, what's happening under the city of Joburg. I want to ask you guys, this would have come in on this side. What are you guys going to do if that type of thing happens here by us, which it can do, as a CKRF? You've got a responsibility to your community members, your paid up members. You need to consider some of that as well. No, seriously, you do.
I don't know.
No, you seriously do. And at the same token, it is another one of those USPs for bringing on membership. As a community forum or an association, you must remember that. Do you know about the letter that Councillor Knott has just put out on behalf of the RAs in Ward 89?
Yeah, I saw it.
Did you attend the meeting?
No. Because the last meeting that I attended at the ward offices, the city hall, city council offices, was a waste of time.
You know, you sit and think it's a waste of time. But I want to tell you, it's not.
Disrupted.
It doesn't make. That's fine. Even if they got one word in. The thing is, those meetings are never a waste of time. There's something to be learned out of all of them. The advisory forum that hasn't been running for flipping I don't know how long, and it's all because of the fact that the political situation in council has disrupted disaster management. We are aware of this. It's a serious issue. But the problem is that through the ward councillors, in terms of the disaster management framework, you know, like you said, this whole issue that I've brought up now with associations and the legal and the can of worms that it's going to open up with all the RAs and that, I'm well aware of it. But now we got the situation. Are you guys aware of the fact that you got a role to play in terms of disaster risk reduction as far as the actual framework is concerned? You see, now that's my role here from the awareness perspective, where we need to introduce you to it and correct it.
Yeah. You see, I'll tell you, in a way, what's happened too is that because we've reduced the crime in the area. That has been our main driving force, is reducing crime in the area, being able to go there. So we can go there. You can speak to 90% of the people who come to the meeting or who are coming to the meeting. The people that I speak to, I know a lot of people in the area. Eddie Lee walks past the house there and I chat to him and all the rest. And you speak to everybody. How's the crime going? No, they haven't had any hassles. They haven't had any hassles. We've had very few hassles in our area. There is one or two that we've had. We had a chop shop on Nondeckers around the corner from it. And I've been telling the guys for a long time, there's a problem with that house there at the place there. They must go and check it. Hey, the one morning I was going to Rudiport and I checked, here's the helicopter flying in the chopper. Police chopper. Okay, something's going on here. I drove, I went to Rudiport. When I got out of my car, here was a helicopter above me. I thought, hey, there is something wrong here. They are now being a suspect here. And then I went back and I pulled in the driveway and I saw the helicopter again. And I walked up the road. Here's about 50 cop cars in there. They've got the guys in the chop shop. They're cutting up the taxis and all the stuff there. So we get rid of that crime. It's gone there. Nobody knows about that. Nobody knows about that.
Gary, we're doing about 5 break-ins a month here at the moment. Positive break-ins.
5 break-ins?
Yeah.
A month. Where?
Yeah, top of the ridge.
On the top of the ridge?
Yeah. Yeah.
You moved to the bottom of the ridge.
No,
Not Constantia Kloof was out. Yeah, but we had one loss.
No, we didn't.
That's what the police gave us.
Yeah, I know. That's where my problem is. Can I tell you something that the actual break-in now this week, reported by Sub Rosa on Christian de Wet Road, clearly indicated SAPS wasn't requested. They didn't want SAPS.
I saw that.
Okay.
I saw that message.
Yeah. Now, I know, because that went out on the Bristow Street group as well. Now, here's the thing on the anti-crime group. My estimate at the moment, it might be 3, but it's definitely not 0.
No,
There's Nolene Street.
We had 1 the previous month. Look, this month I think we put about 7 or 8 in July.
Nolene Street has been hit every single week. Do you know that virtually, I think today is the first day. No, I lie. We've had something today. What did we have today? We've got suspicious vehicles being reported on a daily basis here. And I'm talking a daily basis.
A lot of the suspicious vehicles are the
Ubers.
Deliveries and Uber.
No, they're not. Oh, no, they're not. Oh, no, they're not. Photograph, suspect vehicle, corner of Christian de Wet on Deckers Road. There's the registration plate. Okay. Vehicles are responding, can't find it, missing, gone. Following day, same vehicle, different plates. Suspect vehicle parked in Nolene Street, in I think it was Nolene, it could have been Pauline. Suspect vehicle, 3 Bravo males. Everybody's responding. Sub Rosa comes back, no, it's Take a Lot delivery.
Yeah.
I said, wait a minute. I went privately to Claude. I said, Claude, what do you mean Take a Lot delivery, guys? No, there's three of them wearing Take a Lot shirts. I said, no, dude. Take a Lot do not have more than 2 people on a vehicle. The reason being they use the back seat. Vehicle gone, missing. The other problem that we've got, and it's happening, we've got a particular crew that is coming back into this area. And I've raised this with a couple of people, not just the security guys. They come, they get chased away through the reporting, and they're shitting themselves now that 6 vehicles are pitching up at the same scene. They leave the area. Oh, the school, Liebenberg Street. It's like unbelievable. The woman. Now the people are asking the question, is anything on at the school? The school contact will then tell us, yeah, no, we're having this, we're having that, whatever. Then the first security vehicle arrives. Now I'm waiting for so-and-so. The second security arrives and there's a different report.
But the school at the Liebenberg is a problem. Not necessarily the school. Actually, the problem is across the road at Truckies or whatever it is. I do a walk around very often, and sometimes I go out at 8 o'clock in the morning, sometimes it's at 3 in the afternoon, sometimes during the day. 2 weeks ago, I walked up that street, and there was a car standing there, little Hyundai Getz, engine running, nobody near it. So I waited. What the hell is this? And a woman came out of Truckies, or whatever the name of the school is. I said to her, you know what? I could have been 25 miles away with your car already. She said, I do this every day. Nobody has ever said anything. So, you know, there's something that's missing in South Africa, Chad, I want to tell you. Common sense and logic disappeared 50 years ago.
You go back to the CKRF group. I took offense to people telling me I got no people skills. I took offense to it for 48 hours. And then I realized they're right. I haven't got people skills because I'm not fucking dealing with people. That's the bottom line. And what you've just described now is exactly that. Oh, yeah, but we got all these drug dealers and drug activities that are taking place here at the Caltex and behind the Caltex garage. Oh, I was busy having a walk, my morning walk. I was walking around the Caltex garage. Saying, but you're the one that's bitching about the drug dealers. What are you doing there? Oh, well, then I'm leaving the group.
Look, that is
the cameras, sub-rosa cameras, are serving absolutely no purpose. Absolutely no purpose at all. Nothing. They are not beneficial as they are now. They are serving the community with no purpose at all.
The license plate recognition.
The ones that you guys have put up, what are they doing?
Well, can I maybe give an answer on that? Pauline Street was having breaking of the breaking of the breaking. And one of the members in Pauline Street, Mr. Baker, went out on the CKRF group and he said, you know, what's happening here because the CKRF has got no money to install cameras and there's a problem. So I happened to get his phone number and I phoned him and I said, listen, what's going on? What's the problem? He said, yeah, we've had 5 break-ins here in the last 3 weeks in a row. Why doesn't the CKRF do anything about it? What do you want us to do about it? He said, well, at least put a camera here. I said, okay, where can we put the camera? He said, there's a pole outside my house. I said, who does the pole belong to? No, he doesn't know. I said, I think it's a rumor camera. He said, so? I said, you can't use it. He said, so we must just be left with nothing to do for us. I said, no. I said, give me, it was a Thursday afternoon, I said, give me the rights, put a pole in your yard with a Wi-Fi connection and electrical, and it'll be there before you can blink an eye almost. And he said, when will that be? I said, tell me that I can do it. Yeah, you will now. I phoned him that afternoon. Monday morning, the pole was put up in his yard. We haven't had a single incident in Pauline Street since then.
And when was that?
3 months ago.
Pauline Street sit every month.
Not
according to our stats. Not according to our stats.
I'm going
to. Chad, you say you've got a lot of information. Can I give you something to take up?
Yeah.
The insurance industry is the worst fucking thing that exists. Because I went to them about 20 years ago and I said to them, listen, the guy comes to you, he lodges an insurance claim, he gives you a police case number, you pay it out. 3 weeks later, the police catch the thief, they've got the TV or the whatever it is that he stole it. Go to the guy and say, Chad, listen, we've got the guy, we've got all your stuff, come to court. It's just not a fuck, I'm not going anywhere near the court.
Yeah, no, it's all a problem. That's
insurance
why.
industry should be saying, we will pay you out, but we will recall that money if you don't
That's
actually
why
do
I
it.
want to look at it. And the question I was going to ask on the cameras. Firstly, I've never seen a single report. All of the cameras the CKRF is putting, okay, are monitored by sub-raisers. There's not a single piece of feedback publicly available. This is again a downfall of the CKRF on the statistics of the benefit of those cameras. In other words, how many arrests has sub-raiser made as a result of those cameras? That's point one. Point number two, are they connected to the LPR system at all? Are they?
Because I'm trying to think of which CKRF, the WhatsApp group, because it was actually one port from the 14 Street camera.
We haven't had a positive arrest in this area since I've managed the anti-crime group at all. Not one.
It went to Houston.
Okay, there is nothing publicly available with regards to the cameras. And Margie put out, I think you got 13 or 14 cameras. She posted there's 14 cameras out, and the first thing that the people asked, where? What purpose are they serving?
Well,
also, as a result of that with the cameras, Pauline Street, tomorrow I'll have a look at my chat history on the crime group, and I'll tell you exactly dates and times. Pauline Street's been hit on a regular basis in the last 4, 5, 6 months even.
no, the camera only went in 3 months ago.
Yeah, no, last month we had another one. I keep thinking of a number 54.
There were 3 or 4 within the space of 2 or 3 weeks.
There's a second problem. There's a second problem with Pauline Street. And here's another thing. Again, you know, you guys have missed a lot by not being on the group. I put a poll out that a heavy motor vehicle, a tanker, has rolled. Got a rollover here, opposite Spa. And the incident commander orders an evacuation of Constantia Kloof because of a hazardous chemical leak. Which roads are we going to use? Golf Club Terrace heading north, Ontdekkers heading east, or Christiaan de Wet heading north? People leave the group. You stupid. You childish. You all the rest of it. Okay?
Were you around when the taxi, the Ford Transit 16-seater or whatever it is, went through the robot, took out the big concrete stone and landed on the steers and whatever it was, Fisherways gas pipe there? There was a gas leak.
Do you know how many motor vehicles I've done here?
No, I'm asking, were you around then? It's about 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yes, I was here.
And did you do anything
No, I
about
sent
it?
my son out to go and deal with it.
And did he do anything about it?
Yeah, he stood there and radioed back.
And what happened after that?
From my side, absolutely nothing, because I pulled him back in.
I was there. And I went round to Spa. Gary Con was the chemist still, to the Chinese, and all of those acts around there. I went through the whole shopping centre. And I told them, listen, you need to close off the car park. You need to evacuate this place.
With all due respect.
Not one out there.
With all due respect. The Disaster Management Act actually puts it in a very nice way. You've got 3 levels of volunteers. And I'm saying this respectfully, okay? There are 3 levels of volunteers. The first one is called a unit of volunteers. These are structured volunteers who fall directly under the auspices of the municipality, and in particular the head of department for that particular disaster management center. Then the second one is general volunteers. Your general volunteers are the guys that don't want to be part of the formal structured unit of volunteers. They are normally made up of NGOs, CBOs, BBOs, that type, NPOs, that type of thing. So basically all your NGO organizations such as Red Cross, Give to the Givers, ourselves. People who serve soup or have run soup kitchens that are registered as NPOs don't fall under the general category. They are like the rest of the community, where they fall under spontaneous volunteers. Spontaneous volunteers are the most dangerous volunteers that any person can have around. And from a management perspective, you always try and find the furthest point from the incident for that volunteer. That goes for every person that pitches up at every accident scene, wherever. And the reason being, because they don't know what to do.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So those are the
day
guys.
that I went down there. I didn't know what to do, but what I thought of is let's clear the place as soon as possible.
Now that in itself, we had an incident. This was a classical one. Yeah, the group lit up like a Christmas tree. Actually, 3 of the groups lit up as a Christmas tree, including the Gauteng group itself. More of a fire at Sandton Nelson Square, Nelson Mandela Square. Saturday afternoon, massive fire. Photograph comes through, you see the fire, we're all thinking, holy shit, that centre is really done for. Everybody runs, all the first responders, even the guys that are not first responders, all move out there. Sandton City, they even order an evacuation of Sandton City. Lawrence, what the mood is going on there at Nelson Mandela Square? Nah, I'm on scene. You got the drone up, the drone's up. What's the IC say? Now the generator's having a brain fart. It's all smoke from the generator. See, but Lawrence, what's the story with the picture? That was the sun in the background. I said, are you aware of the fact that they're evacuating Sandton City? He said, no. I said, seriously, the call's gone out. They're evacuating Sandton City. Now people are having a hissy fit. They can't get the boom gates open. Nobody can get their vehicles out. We've got chaos. That's the result of the spontaneous.
Yeah.
Okay, now, again, that's where I feel I have a responsibility on the NGO side to talk to guys like you. Your suggestion of having somebody, to deal with that type of thing as a portfolio, I think it's a brilliant idea, and that's exactly where I'd like to see it going.
What I'm trying to do, or what I'm trying to get to is, instead of the animosity, let's have cooperation. Now, I said, you can come on, but you told me, no,
no, that's conflict of interest. No, it's conflict.
And I'm not going to argue.
Conflict of interest.
But let's say Margie said that she would be prepared to do it. Would you be in the position that you can lead her, guide her, or lead anybody that comes along and says, look, I've got experience as a paramedic or whatever the case may be.
You see, that's where we need the discussion on the NGO side and how it is structured and everything else. And again, where you would in actual fact.
Chad, that's future music. All I'm saying
no. That's got to be done now. We've got about 6. If I'm not mistaken, I think I've got 6 registered volunteers in Constantia Kloof already. I need 20 on top of the reg.
Let's get it organized. Let's get to a situation where we can get it organized. And then if we can implement it immediately, fantastic. But if we can't,
Margie's been a cert volunteer for the last 5 years. She's already there.
So that's all I'm saying is let's.
And again, it's reason.
Within, let's say, transgression, but let's
get an extraordinary committee meeting going now. I don't know when you normally do it on a weekend or a weekday.
Yeah, we got
he was asleep.
Yeah, I think what we got a meeting tomorrow night. We got our
Thursday.
What's tomorrow?
Wednesday. You've lost the day.
Lost the day already. Okay, so on Thursday night we got a meeting. So we just sort it out and then get the guys.
And we'll have the 2 guys that came to see you before, Andres and Ricky, will be there.
That's fine. I told Andres and Ricky I'll give them time. I'm not going to put it out there, but I'm at the point that, the members need to know about it. I cannot be complicit in what is taking place because I'm aware of it. My personal recommendation, and I told Andres and Ricky at that time, that ultimately, the sooner you do it, I don't know if you normally have your AGMs on a weeknight or a weekend or whatever, but my personal recommendation is you scrap your AGM for this year and you call a meeting for next Saturday and you get the guys together.
That actually would make a lot of sense.
Just
have an interim committee until
just tell the guys, look, the beauty about an association is that the members decide what the Constitution says and how the association or business is conducted. And coming from your side, as the previously elected chairman, you carry the weight and you've got the fiduciary responsibility to carry this out. Discuss it with the guys at the meeting on Thursday night and on Friday. But then it's got to be Friday because what are we looking at then? 7 days. You can call an extraordinary meeting in 7 days for the general membership. Normally it's about 10 days, An AGM should be about 30 days notice, because you've got to get the financials out to them to read and that. And this time, you cannot even present financials at the extraordinary meeting, although you will have to produce the last set of financials. But it's not going to be open for discussion.
Can I ask you a question on that? The setting up, can that EOGM be set up as a Zoom meeting?
Yes, of course it can. You are in an extraordinary situation, illegal situation.
Gary will be aware. Margaret will tell you that we had Zoom and it didn't work before.
You
I'm
know,
looking at no,
go on.
I'm looking at your setup here. Would it maybe be a possibility, Gary, that we get 6 or 7 guys, myself, Terry, Andres, Ricky.
You want me to facilitate it? I can do that.
We come here if you've
got
and
space.
we use this where Chad says his works, the ones that we have had didn't work. So,
you know what I was going to do here. I can open Zoom up here, and each of you, it doesn't make a difference if you've got 6 people in the room. 6 people can have all their cell phones connected to Zoom, as long as you've got a decent Wi-Fi connection. The only thing you want to make sure is if you're talking, your audio is audible or at a sufficient level where people can hear it. Take the phone, say your piece. It also helps to have decorum at the meeting itself, because then only one person can talk. And of course, whoever is moderating or chairing the meeting can tell everybody else to shut up. Pass the phone around, pass the phone around. If the phone dies, you use somebody else's phone. Audio is the problem. You don't necessarily need video.
Yeah. But I've had it with, I'm on 3 body corporates in the UK where I've got properties. And all of them have gone away from Zoom meetings because they said they weren't working.
No. I will send you a link again. As far as information is concerned, unfortunately, I moved over from link server and Skype meetings into the Zoom platform just before COVID. I ran 3 radio broadcasts a week throughout the COVID-19 12-month period. Thereafter, I've been running a weekly net since 2016 June. Every Sunday night now at 7 p.m. I've got a radio net. I've just uploaded the ones that YouTube will accept, 142 Zoom meetings to YouTube, just for my CERT volunteer meetings. I will send you guys the link to the Constantia Kloof videos done by Chad, from Chad's desk. I've got the MCOM explaining the radio network. It's not here to take away from things, it's here to complement things, because we have got serious communication shit. Even today, I put the notice out. Vodacom, and this came through the courier company. Vodacom has had problems communicating international calls because of the 3 undersea cables.
I phoned my managing agent last night. It echoes loud, soft.
Yeah, you guys pick up the phone, you phone each other, it's engaged. You think the dumb fool is busy chatting to the girlfriend. The dumb fool's nowhere near the girlfriend. The cell phone networks have died. The routing has died. The internet connectivity has died. And that is where, from the MCOM perspective, I am rolling out the Community Emergency Radio Network nationally. Anybody that comes up on it, they get involved, whatever. The CKRFs, the block watchers, the rest of the guys, you guys don't need to worry about the licensing, because I do it. Licensing, ICASA, big bucks. ICASA, I'm actually doing another opinion letter to ICASA for amendment to the radio regulations. The last set of type approval regulations, they took a fair number of my recommendations into account. They've modified the type approval or equipment authorization. So on that level, there's a lot of things going. Even there, as a CKRF, even if I am MCOM Limited, there is a synergy that can be formed without it being a partnership or anything along those lines. Let me give you an example. I get Harim Botha from Dowry to come and sit here. And I tell him, Harim, this is who I am, what I'm doing, the conversation I want to have with you on this level. Cool. I said, now, as part of this, I've got the breakaway side. I've got several breakaway sides. I've got somebody in occupational health and safety. They deal with all of the aspects that I need to pass on. I've got DMB consultants. They will do all of the paramedical first aid level training. The tactical emergency casualty care is something that I'm busy launching. The next manual that I'm going to be writing and publishing will be the disaster shelter management system. Then as far as fire is concerned, because I know Harold and that from old Red Cross days, funny enough, we go back that far, Emergency Control SA, who's operating in our area. You see, they set up a base station across the road. They're actually moving down into Discovery, I think, because they bought new premises. But they are, in actual fact, on board. You know what, you guys, I'm going to say it as such. The CKRF membership and committee have been absolute idiots the last couple of months. You've made your names hot. On some of the groups, we've even got journalists. And oh boy, have there been questions. Okay, you guys have got to settle down. You need to move forward, all the rest of it. Synergies, looking at the radio, looking at the security, looking at the safety, the potholes. The potholes are a major incident, situation all round. If you want to learn how to do potholes, go and speak to Rudderkrans. They'll show you how to do it. They've been running that operation for I don't know how long. Even John Baisley down at the bottom, they cover the potholes. Whether it's legal or not, that's debatable.
Yeah.
The thing is that, you know, I've been looking at videos and shit of people. I come from the south of Joburg. I can't believe what Rosettenville looks like. You know what Constantia looks like now? Well, it's going to look like Beirut before you guys know it. I'm serious. And this is the word. What did you say on the CKRF group about the 10-day? I said that there's going to be water out for 10 days and somebody had to come back and correct you and say, no, JW water said it. Or Joburg water, not Chad. Okay, that's the misconception. We can't have that. Yeah. As a CKRF, if you got this passion to, and yes, you started 20 years ago with something, but you've got to adjust now. Circumstances have changed. I mean, no, it's not even, we've gone past that. I mean, you know, in one of the members on the group is actually, he used to be head of Center for Ekuleni Disaster Management. He, in actual fact, after I posted there's my EMA certificate on the wall there. After I posted this, because there's a little clause at the bottom there that says your safety is your concern. The City of Joburg letter, he sent a message back. He said, oh, check who wrote that. I mean, do you know who wrote that? And I still thought, yeah, he's going to tell me it's him. And I said, yeah, probably some old bliksem that's busy asking stupid questions. He said, no, it wasn't me, it was him. So he said to me afterwards, after the Bree Street, I gave him a call. I said, listen here. In the 40 years that we've been in this industry, have we ever seen anything like this in this country, let alone Joburg? He said, never. Never, never, never. And if what happened there in Bree Street is what I'm seeing on the video today, I need to know what our tunneling looks like here. Because I have not driven for the better part of 8 years at all. I renewed my car license last year. It cost me 438 rand plus 5,500 in penalties. If that's Joburg's situation, and you must remember, the gas pipes and lines played no role in it. Are you aware of the war within 5 kilometers of us as a CKRF?
Aware of the
war? Westbury. Westbury's at war.
Yeah, look, my neighbor next door is a chaplain there.
Westbury's at war. Eldorado Park is at war.
And also down there, the old Randlease's Rugby Club.
Opposite Fleurhof. But that's the Zamas in particular. But now here's the thing that you guys also need to understand. If this video is of the city of Joburg, they say it's underground city of Joburg. that is concerning. But if it is as a result of the operation that's just been carried out now, yeah, at the Rand mine side where they've established ship, where do the old mine tunnels extend under Constantia Cliff?
Well, it's not where do they extend. And please,
Where are they
now,
currently
please,
excavating?
I'm kind of like taking it, you pointing that way. But the original gold was discovered, yeah, in the valley and it's there. So what is there here that comes this way?
No, there's a lot. There's a lot going down that the whole bottom section of Main Reef Road. My question is, how much tunneling has been done from Main Reef Road this way?
This way, yeah, there's a lot.
Okay, now how's that going to affect us? How's the CKRF? Now I'm sort of digressing a bit to this side. How's the CKRF going to
We're not
consider
doing anything.
this?
We're not worried about it until we hit it hits us. That's it. That's we, like I said, we've been concentrating on our. We haven't looked at this. We've opened a new book here.
I'm gonna twist your thought process.
Yeah.
Because here's the integration as to why I asked the question.
Yeah.
Yes, I fully appreciate your line of thought on security. Yeah. Okay, but now we have that type of situation. Do you know your whole security aspect changes?
Sure.
The security industry is not going to be involved in what you think they're going to be involved in. What are you going to do with it?
The biggest problem is, no matter how you want to paint it, what you want to do with it, we don't have numbers. That's why we have to build up the numbers to at least get a committee of, I would say, 10.
You're talking about the CKRF membership.
Yes, because I can't do the safety. Gary can't do the disaster management. Terry can't do the potholes. Yeah, we just
but I'll tell you.
Too few hands.
No, but I'll tell you what you can do. I'll tell you what you can do, even if you're not on the committee. You can play auxiliary roles. Yeah. Each and every single one of you, even as a CKRF member.
Well, I think I said to you yesterday that some of the people that we would, let's say, like to bring on board don't become committee members. They kind of like, that's the right word, copy portfolio. So that guy, they sort out the copies and they do whatever it is, and maybe they come back every 3 months. Maybe they come back once a month. It depends on, let's say, the calling. Now, when there's been a problem, they're going to be there more frequently. When things have died down, they're not going to be there as long.
You see, when you talk about the copy, I understand where you're coming from, and this has been a very good debate actually on the Constantia Cliff and Surrounds group, which you guys are not on, and you need to get onto it. Now we must actually watch the time. The power goes off at 10. Eh?
Yeah, my missus has just emailed.
When you look at the copy, you look at it as a security aspect. I'm looking at it in a different aspect altogether.
No, not a security aspect.
What are you looking
at? If you go to the Golf Club Terrace one,
yeah.
If you go down to the corner where because it dips down like that at the back, that's a sewage farm down there.
What? Okay, and so what's the concern about it?
Jeez. We've got rats that we've never ever had before.
Okay, when you say a sewage farm, is that because of service delivery?
They've got nowhere else to go. So they all go shut down in the corner.
Okay, you see now, yes, okay, I hear what you're saying, but that is the consequence, that's not the cause. We need to get to the cause. The cause,
we need to evacuate that area.
Yeah, but now that has to be done in the correct manner, and the only way that we can do that is through the Department of Social Development. That's the only way. And we've had a very good debate about this on the WhatsApp group. That's where people like the CKRF. I actually put together a CK aid and assistance group, because my plan of thought there is from the humanitarian aspect. I want to know how many women and children are in that area, and I want to know what the medical conditions of the people are.
No, I don't see any children there or all women.
You'd be surprised.
No, they aren't really.
You'd be.
I've seen one or two.
I lost 80,000 people overnight during an IFP attack. 80,000. They disappeared.
There's not many that are there. But what has happened, I'm fairly got a fairly good liaison with the guy, Percy, at the council now. He comes there with the team every now and then at JMTV, and they clear the thing. Now, he cleared it about 2 months ago, and when he came back this week, because I phoned him and I said to him, Percy, you cleared it, but the people that are there now are a completely new bunch. When I saw him now, I went up to him, and he said to me, Mervyn, you know, when I cleared this thing the first time, it was all old people that were living there. These people here are all 18, 20, 22, youngsters.
You see, this is the problem. I mean,
That's a problem.
there's the security aspect, but there's also the medical aspect. And that's where we then also need to come in from and again, you guys need to understand it as a forum that while your primary focus is that, you also, correct, because you become the source of information that you can provide the relevant information. And then get up onto, like the constant Bristow group lights off, guys reported. And then, no, nobody goes and reports it. So what happened during the 17 hours? You guys don't know about it. Nobody reported it. And City Power said, well, it's not a wide area coverage. When the problem is solved, their lights will come back up. We could have had our electricity back by 6 p.m. on Saturday. So we need to settle this down. I've given you an idea of which way to move forward. Personally, next Saturday, Zoom meeting, I don't care how, where, when, whatever. Bring some guys here if you want, that's fine. Committee, that's also fine. We can put something together, even if it's just made up on your cell phones. You'll be able to do something. You can get the rest of the guys up on group. I'll send you the links. You can go and have a look at some of the meetings. I've got some, even though it might have been 1, 2, 3 people that have come up from the RAs, that's fine. I'm reaching people bit by bit. And sort that side of it out. And seriously, this bickering must come to an end.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's.
Look, I think that was part of the purpose of getting
We've
together.
come here and
we came in peace, not love.
And Gary, I'm going to ask you to put out a written apology to the community for what has transpired. There's certain groupings, some of it comes from CKRF, but there's another grouping of people that are coming from a context down the road. And that one I'm very concerned. That incident is the type of incident, 2 incidents that I should be discussing with that investor.
Okay.
Switch on the lights. I don't know. I don't believe in lights.